How are we doing, everybody? And welcome back to another video. Now, currently it is 6:45 in the morning. And normally at this time of day, I am in work. I will have already prepared the resources for the day. I'd be responding to emails and things like that, making sure that the date and everything was on the board. But today I'm not. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. I'm enjoying a coffee. I've just made Daisy a coffee, and it is a pretty relaxed start. And the reason for that is Ramadan. During the month of Ramadan, Muslims all over the world take time to reflect, to give back, and to fast. During daylight hours, Muslims are fasting, they're refraining from eating and drinking, and then when the evening comes, they take time for iftar, which is where they break their fast. They spend time with families and friends and so on. Now, here in the UAE, because it is a Muslim country, everybody pays respect to Ramadan. And if they're Muslim, they're obviously taking part. And if not, like myself, we have to pay respect to it. And as a school and as a teacher, we are adjusting our working hours to support not only the pupils, but the staff that are partaking in the fast and that are celebrating Ramadan. So what that means is we have an adjusted timetable. The school day doesn't start, for me at least, until 8:30. That's what time I need to get into work. And the children don't turn up until 9. So that's 2 hours difference in the morning. And then in the evening or afternoon, school finishes at 10 to 2. So rather than starting at 7 and finishing at 3, we start at 8:30, 9 o'clock and finish at 2. So the day is completely shortened. And actually, when I reflect on it, that's actually a very similar working day to what it is like back in the UK. But we're used to doing really long hours out here, so this adjusted timetable is lovely. What that does mean is it means that I have a slightly more relaxed morning and I have a little bit more time to do the things that otherwise I wouldn't have time to. The other great thing about Ramadan is I have additional time in the morning, so I can take this guy for a nice walk as well. Whereas normally Daisy takes him out because I'm up quite early and he's still half asleep. So let's see if he wants to go out. Should we go for a walk? Come on. It is a beautiful morning. This is one thing that I do miss about Ramadan when it isn't Ramadan, is you get to go out on walks like this, whereas normally at this time of year it's dark by the time I get into work, so I don't get to make the most of this unless it's a weekend. Now, in previous Ramadans, because I've been here for 2 years now, this is my 3rd year, I've had lay-ins, I've enjoyed waking up, having coffees, and I've not really made the most of the time in the mornings. And then in the afternoons, I've gone home and I've had a nice relaxing evening, or I've used that time to work. Now, this year, I have made the decision to try and not do that and actually make the most of that additional time, because the rest of the year you don't have it and you really wish you had it. So yesterday, for instance, I woke up early still and I went out and went for a run. After work, because I've got the extra time, I'm making sure that I definitely go to the gym, and your day just feels so much longer when you're making the most of that time. So this morning I've not gone for a run, but I have got up to take the dog out. And yeah, I'm just trying to do my best to make the most of the time and enjoy the shortened working hours. Now, there are a couple of things that need to be noted. One is eating and drinking during the day. This might seem like an obvious one, but even I sometimes forget. And I know last year when it was Ramadan, I went into a shop, bought myself something to eat, and was about to take a bite out of it outside and suddenly had to stop myself. Getting up in the morning, having your coffee on the way to work, things like that, smoking and vaping even, any ingested habits, you just can't do. So that's something to note. And another thing is music, playing of music. Now, obviously, if you're driving to work and you're playing the radio, that's fine. But for instance, within school, normally I play some background music when the children are working. I'm not allowed to do that anymore. The idea is that that's a celebration, and the month of Ramadan is all about giving back. It's all about taking time to reflect, and playing music and listening to things that might be considered haram is just not allowed. So few little adjustments here and there, but nothing too crazy. Come on in, buddy. Let's go back home. Here we go. What do you want? Good boy. Good boy. Oh, so now that I'm back home, I've made myself coffee number 2. What I always do in the morning is 3 things. The first thing I do is Duolingo. I am practicing and trying to learn a bit of Spanish. I will be hopefully trying to put that into use in a couple of weeks when we have our spring break, because we are going to Spain. I do a bit of reading. At the moment, I am reading a book called The Insomnia Museum. It's a slow read, but we're getting there. And I also, which has been a new thing since the start of this year, writing this. It's a bit of a journal, diary, kind of put my ideas down, things that I want to achieve, how my day's been, kind of just scribbling any thoughts and ideas down, clearing my head out, things like that. So I'm going to do those 3 things, and then once I've done those, it's pretty much ready to go and get ready. That didn't make any sense. It is now 8 o'clock, so it's time to head to work. The only annoying thing about this time of day is traffic. Another thing that you need to be very careful of is, normally when I drive in the morning, because I leave at 6 a.m, I don't have to battle with much traffic. The roads are pretty clear, and there are pretty much no school buses because it's too early for them to pick the children up. Whereas at this time in the morning, because the children are going to be in school in the next 30 to 40 minutes, there are school buses everywhere. And with school buses out here in the UAE, if the school bus is parked up and it has the little stop sign out because they're picking up children, if you get within, I believe it's 5 meters of that bus, you're getting a very hefty fine and you get black points on your license. Now, that might seem obvious, you stop and you see one, but if, say, a school bus is down a side street picking a child up and you don't realise, and you drive into that side street and you don't stop in time, you're getting a fine. And I know a lot of people that have got fines accidentally because they've pulled out of their apartment and the bus has been right there, or they've pulled into a side street and the bus has been there. So school buses make me a little bit nervous. I drive respectfully around them, but they do make me a bit nervous. So it is 20 past 8, well, not quite, but nearly. This was yesterday's timetable. So computing, maths, they have a break, guided reading, English, they have a break, geography, and then home. Today is obviously going to be slightly different in terms of the lessons, but the structure of the day is the same. So you can see it kind of looks like a half day. It feels like one too. Now, fortunately, the way that the day has been scheduled and planned is that we still have 40-minute lessons, which is good. I know that last year and the year before, when we had Ramadan, the lessons maintained the same structure, so we still had quite a few lessons each day, but they were much shorter. So 40 minutes, although it's not ideal, an hour would be better, you still feel like you're teaching a proper lesson. You just have to be quite quick with your timings and things like that. So in terms of the actual lessons, I still feel like I'm getting quite a lot out of the children. The big thing, because I teach younger children, and I believe it's the same up in the secondary school also, is the children have probably been up quite late eating. And usually what happens is they wake up very early to get some food in before the start of the day as well. So the children are walking around, especially as the day goes on. They're hungry, they're thirsty, the temperature's rising outside. It's meant to be hit mid-30s this week, 35, 36. You do have to be very mindful of that. Some of the children have already said that they get headaches and things like that. So adaptability is very important during Ramadan because, like I say, I've got 8-year-olds here who are deciding not to eat all day because they want to take part in Ramadan with their families. And it is tough on them. So you have to adapt. You have to be mindful of that when you're teaching. Resources have now been printed and they're just ready to cut up. It is currently the children's break time and I am currently uploading data because it's assessments. Data and assessments is difficult this time of year because we have shortened days, the kids are tired, they're hungry, but it is what it is. So far, there is some really good progress made in this class, which is great. Great to see, and you only really notice it fully sometimes when you're going back through because, you know, some days are good, some days are bad, some days are, people are tired, hungry, etc. But yeah, so currently I'm putting data in and I've got another 10 minutes until the last lesson of the day. So it's 12:50. We've got 1 more hour of the day to go. Let's go. And that is my school day, at least, done. The day finishes at 1:45, 1:50. By the time you send the kids off, it ends up being closer to 2 o'clock. Now, the school day is done, but my day most definitely isn't, and that's another great thing about Ramadan. So I'm now heading to the gym, and then I should be done in the gym for about 3:15, which is great. And then I get the whole rest of the evening to myself. Right, that's the gym done. I did a bit of an arm workout, nothing too crazy. And then I spent 20 minutes on the bike. It is now 3:20, which is about the time I said I'd finish. I'm now gonna drive home, grab some lunch, have a coffee, probably read some of my book, chill out, and see what the rest of the evening brings. Whew. Okay, I have just got in. I'm gonna make a coffee, but it's out of water, so I'll do that in a minute. Now, when I first got to the gym, you may have seen that I filled up my shaker cup, my water bottle, and I was drinking that as I was working out. And at the beginning of this video, I said that drinking and eating is a bit of a no-go out in public. There is a caveat to that, and that is that fitness institutions like gyms and the golf club and rugby club and places like that will still allow you, and it is accepted for you to stay hydrated and to care for yourself in that way when you're exercising. Because people typically that are fasting are unlikely to be in those places at that time. What those institutions like the gyms and stuff will do, however, is they will often extend their hours. So I know that the golf club recently released a message and an email out to all of its members to say that the grounds are going to be open later on into the evening. And that is to allow people who are fasting time to eat, to drink, to break their fast, and to still be able to use those facilities. So, so I can get away with drinking and eating in those places and not have to worry about it because there are other things in place for people who are fasting that still want to use those facilities. So I have now freshened up. I've had a shower. I've had something to eat. I have had a coffee. I've now opened my laptop because another benefit of Ramadan is the evenings are more free. So I can make a start on little projects that I have been intending to start but haven't had the time to do, catch up on work, all sorts of things like that. The sun is slowly setting, so the evening's looking really nice, which means I'm going to get the opportunity to take the dog out for a walk in a little bit as well. But generally, the evening opens up and you just feel like you've got more time. It's great. So I am now taking Zuko out for a walk. It's about 6 p.m. The sun is slowly coming down and the temperature has dropped, which is really nice. I've just finished up starting my little project, and I've also just helped, spent the last 50 or so minutes helping Daisy with some work of hers as well. That's pretty much how the evening's going to end. I'm going to finish taking this guy for a walk. I'm then going to go home and cook myself some dinner, chill out for the rest of the evening, and then we do it all again tomorrow. But taking this guy out for a walk is always a great part of the day. It's nice to see him having a run around. He enjoys it. It's a good time to get some exercise in before the end of the evening. Okay, I am gonna finish taking him for a walk and enjoy the rest of my evening. I hope you guys found this video useful, especially if you're coming out here to teach yourself. If you haven't already done so, go and check out all my social links down below. Go and get your hands on my guide, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.